Now it's the time to give the microphone to the 4 school boards. C'est maintenant le temps de laisser la parole aux 4 conseils scolaires. Je vais leur laisser la chance de se présenter eux-mêmes. Donc, on va commencer par les 2 conseils publics anglophones et par la suite, on donne la parole, l'anglophone et le francophone. Ensuite, on passe au conseil catholique, anglophone et francophone aussi. Now, I'll leave the people introduce themselves, and we'll start with the Ottawa Catholic District School Board, and then the other people will introduce themselves. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good evening. My name is Walter Piovison, and I'm the Associate Director with the Ottawa Carleton District School Board. First of all, I'd like to thank the Early Learning Centers for organizing this evening and inviting us to be here. I also like to congratulate you. One of our objectives in our strategic plan is parental engagement, and by the showing this evening, I can see you're very involved and very interested in your child's education. I can only imagine what it's like to be sitting where you are, because to be quite honest, I was sitting there 14 years ago wondering the same thing, not in this room, but wondering what I'm going to do with my daughter. So tonight I'm going to speak to you not only from the perspective of the Associate Director, but also as a parent whose daughter went through the Ottawa Carleton District School Board system. And I had some prepared notes, and as I sat here, I thought, I want to make this relevant because what you're really doing tonight is deciding not just on a school or a school board, but you're really making a decision that's going to have an impact on your child for the next 14 years. And that's can be quite traumatic, or anxiety. It might increase your anxiety. So what I like to do is for you to sit back and relax. And in my 10 minutes, I'm going to sort of walk you through what your child will experience if you choose to enroll them in one of our schools. So tonight, when we're done, you're likely going to walk to the back and you're going to meet some of our staff. And back there we have our principal of early learning. We have one of our coordinators from our learning support services, our spec ed department. We have our instructional coaches, our 3 instructional coaches who focus on working with teachers in the school in terms of the implementation of kindergarten and what the curriculum looks like. We also have our early childhood educators back there, so they can talk to you about what it's like to be in a kindergarten classroom with a teacher and an early childhood educator walking together. We have members of our extended day program who can talk to you about our extended day program and what that will look like. After tonight, you're going to sit down and decide, okay, now what do I do? Well, I encourage you to go to our website, and next week our schools will be holding an information evening. All our schools will be holding an information evening for the parents. If you go to our website, you'll see the dates and the times that you can get information. At that time, you can go to the school, talk to the principal. There may be teachers there. You can get a registration form. There may be people from the extended day program. There may be people from the childcare there. They'll answer your questions. Our registration week for kindergarten is January 27th to 31st, at which point you can register. Now, we call it a registration week, but really you can register anytime. So if you decide that you still need to make a decision, don't worry. If you don't register next week or during that week, that's okay. Now, what happens, why we encourage you to register, though, is that Only Education starts planning for September and January. So we need those numbers so we can plan, so we can know we can have the staff, we can hire staff, we can plan for September, so when your child arrives at school September, we're ready to go. Now, while you're working on that, now what's it going to look like when you show up in September? Well, I can tell you, and I think I speak for all 4 boards, and I say this anytime I speak to teachers, principals, or any staff in our system, we recognize that you are sending your most precious possessions to us. And we take that job of caring for your children very seriously. And what I say to staff when I speak to them, I expect staff to treat your children as if they were mine. And what does that mean? That means we have high expectations of your children, not just in terms of student achievement, but also in terms of well-being, and in terms of, and high expectation in terms of that moral compass. So our schools focus on what we call a community of character. We have 10 character traits that are embedded in our curriculum that focus on things like honesty, optimism, cooperation, all those things that we want in order for our children to be well-rounded. We've also developed something that we call exit outcomes. There are skills that we want our students to have when they leave our system. Resilient, global thinkers, critical thinkers, creative and innovative. So that's our focus. So while we have a focus on student achievement, we really believe in that well-rounded child, and that we start that the minute they enter our door. So in junior kindergarten and senior kindergarten, that's where we start. So when we talk about, and we have our system is very, very committed to creativity and innovation, and that's why the introduction of inquiry learning or play-based learning fits right into what we're trying to do. And we're going to continue that through, not just through junior kindergarten and senior kindergarten, through the years. Now, as part of that journey, you're going to have to decide on what sort of program you want your children to be in. And I can't remember that word that you used, but I'm sorry. Sorry? Exogamy. So we have exogamy families too. And we also have monogamous families. So when we talk about language acquisition, we offer four sort of programs that, in terms of the French language. So we offer a core French program, an early immersion program which starts in senior kindergarten, and a middle immersion program which that starts in grade 4. And one of the things we've done over the years, as we reviewed our delivery of French languages, we've adopted the common European framework, right? And at the end of grade 12, students get to challenge or write the DELF. It's a language proficiency exam that they can use in terms of future employment, in terms of, right? And it's similar to the federal government's exam. So students write the exam and they get a certificate that says, I'm proficient at this level. So I can tell you that my daughter, who went through the immersion program, for most of her career, her school years, wrote the exam and got a B, wrote the B exam, did successful, so she's proficient in French. And she's going to pursue French in university and hopefully continue that. So from a program point of view, we have the three programs in French, and students can take a proficiency exam at the end if they choose in all three programs. What happens if your child, as somebody mentioned, is diagnosed or has an exceptionality? Again, like all school boards, we have learning support services. We have specialized classes. We have specialized classes in autism. We have gifted programs both at the elementary and at the high school level. And we also have a number of alternative schools that provide a different learning experience for students who may not feel comfortable in a traditional school setting. Like I said, I want to take 10 minutes. So now your children are in grade 9. I told you I'd walk you through the 14 years very quickly because that's what happens. It goes by quickly. So in high school, we have composite high schools across the system. We offer a number of different programs. We have a high school we have an IB program. We have a School of the Fine Arts. We have a high performance athlete program. And like all school boards, we offer 4 pathways for students. So the world of work, apprenticeship, college, university. So that's all available to your students, or to your children. Again, throughout the years, with a focus on high expectation in terms of student achievement and behavior. We want our motto is we want to create good citizenship. So, well, I have 1 minute. The 14 years are almost done. In closing, then, when we're all done and we answer questions, I encourage you to come to the back and meet our staff. We have, like everyone else, has brought goodies for you to take away. And again, thank you for being here.